Howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys and girls, and welcome to this a brand new day. A brand new day with hope and promise and threats and danger. I mean, life is life. We in human society, as bad as it can sometimes be, forget that we have it really easy compared to most species on the planet. Nature is red in tooth and claw. Outside of our gigantic human colonies, cities, it's life is kill or be killed, eat or be eaten. It's only those that gather together for safety that are safe. And we've managed to make life safe for humanity for a long time, but that's unusual. Not war, just not dying to everything out there. Plucked off and eaten everywhere. But then we are, viruses and stuff. But still, good morning. Thumbs up and welcome to a non-depressing episode of my vlog in which I, as a talker, have to talk or my brain does not function properly. I've been a talker my whole life, and it's only been after the death of my wife here that I don't have anyone to talk to anymore. And that's why I started vlogging, and my brain started to work better, and so I've kept it up, and now it provides form and structure to a largely formless and structureless life. Thank you for coming along with me on this journey of exploration. It is greatly appreciated. Now for the Shelton, Washington Weather Plague Rat and Spider Report. Weather. It was really wet outside yesterday. I don't remember it raining, but then I don't always am able to tell. Whoa. I am not always able to tell if it's raining outside. Sometimes I have a lot of noise and such because of my external speakers, because of the fan I have going outside. There's sometimes so much noise that it's blurs out stuff. So I couldn't tell if it was raining, but when I went and checked outside all day, it was always wet everywhere. So, went walkies twice, actually. Both times, same deal, except I just walked from my home to downtown and back the first time while the sun was up. Oh, excuse me. Oh, my tummy. I drank some soda along with some other food-like stuff, and now that food-like stuff in my tummy is going, I don't like the soda, but yay. But when I went the second time, still damp everywhere, but it hadn't been raining, so. And I can't hear any rain out there now. It's pretty quiet in here. It's just me yammering, so quiet. Thumbs up. For the spider report, there are some gangly leg spiders still about. There's a gangly leg spider that I just couldn't see apparently down there yesterday. It's back again. The garden spider over in the corner, she's still doing well, apparently still eating because she was working on repairing part of her web this morning. Thumbs up for that. A very good thing. I just like having life around. And then, of course, my kitty cat, she's now, when she rests and waits, it's right there. So when I back up my chair, of course, I wang into her side and she yells and complains. So she's going to keep that up for the next 4 or 5 days. Yay! But I love cats and I love her very, very much, so it's willing to put up with making sure I don't squash her when I move. Good deal for that. Still on the tail end of my cold. I blew out a whole bunch of, yellowish stuff from the infection up here in this sinus, so it's mostly cleared up. Not entirely. I'm still on the tail end of it. I'm still fighting the infection. It's just, I'm winning the battle. It's just going to be a while to get rid of all the invaders. So it's good to be good, and I'm glad. Definitely a thumbs up on that. I do have some other things written down on my topics list, and one of them is something that I've meant to talk about for a while. What we call the visible light spectrum is a very, very small sliver of everything that is available on the entire electromagnetic spectrum. The entire electromagnetic spectrum from the very lowest to the most high-pitched and speedy, it goes whoosh. It's a huge range, and the visible light range is just this tiny, 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 tiny little sliver that if you look at the whole spectrum, you can barely even see what's being marked out. We see so very little. And that's fine. It's just that that's not all that can be seen. After all, there are some creatures on Earth that use infrared, and they see infrared. It's below the lowest of what we can see, heat. And they can see heat. We can't. We have glasses and stuff that we can use that will detect heat and, thermal stuff, those headsets. And that's fine. That's kind of what they see, I imagine. And then there's in the ultraviolet spectrum, where a lot of insects see. When we look at what looks like just a plain white petal of a flower, bees see these incredible patterns and landing stripes on them, because in ultraviolet, they are colorful. A whole bunch of colors that we can't see because we don't detect ultraviolet. Now, in the visible light spectrum, we see the colors we see because we have 3 primary color detectors in our eyes. The 3 cones. We have red, green, blue. And it detects those, and that's why we see all the colors we see, because of these cones in our eyes that detect the primary color ranges. These aren't all the primary colors, though. There are other creatures like lobsters that have 10 more cones. Now, I'm going to say cones because I always forget the proper word for it. There's rods and cones in your eyes. One of them is probably rods. The rods are for, one of them, likely the rods, are for detecting color, and the cones are the low light ones that don't see anything in detail. I'm speaking of the ones that detect active color and active light. So when I get the words wrong, my sincere apologies. I do not mean to confuse you. Lobsters have 13 of them. They see 13 primary colors. Imagine that. We make all the colors we can see out of combinations of those 3 colors. Plus, white being all of them and black being none of them, and then you can mix that in as well, so there's alterations. What must life look like to a creature that can see 13 primary colors from which all other colors are made up of? And just because we can't detect these things doesn't mean they're not there. After all, infrared and ultraviolet, we just have only 3 of them. What must it look like? This is, and I smile and laugh at it, but it's also in a tiny way indicative of what it's like to try and describe something as a character in a cosmic horror type story. Try to explain what color looks like with another primary color added. We can't detect any other colors but the ones that our eyes will detect. What do you see if you add that? How can you describe it? There are no words for it. That's the problems with the people in cosmic horror, and that's also the problem with the author who's thought of the cosmic horrors. Because what words do you use when we have no words to describe this thing? We don't have the senses to detect something, so we don't have any words to describe those things we can't detect. Doesn't mean they're not there. We just don't have receptors for them. Doesn't mean they can't affect us. After all, we can't see ultraviolet. We still burn. We can't see radiation, and it will still kill us. Just because we have no receptors, it doesn't mean it's not going to be able to get us. So, cosmic horror again. In a lobster's eye, how do you describe it? After all, my definition, it boiled down to a nutshell for cosmic horror stuff is these, There's a being, an object, a location, or a situation beyond our comprehension because we adapted and evolved in this world here. So we have no proper senses or mind to be able to detect or comprehend these things. Simply being or existing in a fashion that is unknowable to us, with little regard for human life or safety. Because when we go digging, when we go walking, do we worry about the things we crush under our feet? No. So yeah, cosmic horror in a lobster's eye. Try to describe that. We can't. We don't have the senses or words for it. Thumbs up for that. Which, just real quick, on my cosmic horror stuff, I've been thinking about this as well, because it's the cosmic horrors that I've created and that I think about and that I'm hopefully going to write about one day. Because of the way that a multiverse works and because of where their origins are, they're not connected to the time stream, the heartbeat of the multiverse. Because they can step out of an individual universe and either into another universe or into the space that surrounds and separates universes from each other, they're disconnected from the time streams and heartbeats of individual universes. But they're also disconnected from the heartbeat and the rhythm of the multiverse, because they can also step into this infinite abandoned city that was created by a different race long ago, because it created in such a fashion that even though it hadn't always existed, once it existed, it had always existed. Because of this, where they were born, they're not even connected to the time stream and heartbeat of the multiverse, because they can step out of it into this infinite abandoned city. They have no desires to build anything. They have no desires to create legacies for the future. They have no thoughts or hopes for the future. They don't care about it. Everything for them is just transient, ephemeral. They live at a scale, in a time scale just on their own, where everything is moving around them. If they're inside of like our universe, if it didn't instantly burn to ash, they live at such a time scale that galaxies are zooming through the skies around them. Everything, universes are born, mature, wither, and die around them. They can go to the city for what feels like 5 minutes, and when they come back, 1,000,000 universes have grown and died. In series, there's no connection to anything. There's no future for anything. There's the immutable abandoned city that just does not change. And then there's the multiverse, which you blink and it's different. You blink and everything's, half the things have died, and those that haven't have drifted and moved on. They have no desires for the future, especially since they are all essentially mules. They cannot reproduce in any way, shape, or form. So when the end comes for them, the end comes for them. And they're not even worried about that. They don't think about it. For all intents and purposes, they feel endless. Although, to their shock and horror later, of course, when Amaterasu passes on, they find out, no, they're not. So they have, the only legacies that they keep are like for Aragotz, who's trying to catalog, I was going to say categorize and catalog and then mix the both of them together, who's trying to catalog the multiverse. But it's not for anybody else, it's for an entirely neurotic reason. And so it's not a legacy, it's just an inability to let go. Past that, they don't care. Everything changes, everything dies around them in seconds. They just live and exist. Thumbs up for that. And I've opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab. I'm going to go through and thank 20 to 25 people who haven't left me a comment. That was a nice gasp, wasn't it? I am not reading the comments right now. I'm just thanking you for having left a comment. If I mispronounce the username, no disrespect is intended. I was going to say no disrespect is intelligent, but that makes sense too. And even though I count American Sign Language on the fingers of this hand with my depression, ADHD and more, I am sometimes lucky I can remember what my own name is. So calling up my Chrome, we have Marius, Variakojis, thumbs up and thank you. Anna Paula, greatly appreciated. Melissa Ramirez, thank you very, very much. Gaming with Gabriel, thumbs up and thank you. Tommy Nelson, greatly appreciated. Confused L29, always good to see you. Gory Gaming, thumbs up and thank you. We have Tit Griffin, son of a gun, and thank you. Aiden O'Meara, thumbs up and thank you. Aaron Ringer, greatly appreciated. Ben Hertz, thumbs up. Autumn W, greatly appreciated. Russian Timing, always good to see you in the comments. Dead of Hines, thumbs up. And then we have Cartiers FX, thumbs up. Paula, greatly appreciated. Colin Reisenauer, good to hear. Jack Hurst, thumbs up and thank you. We have Rayden, thumbs up. Azul, greatly appreciated. Gaming Grandpa, I have to subscribe to your channel here, so thank you for having left a comment. Maria Luisa Lima Gomez, I sure hope I'm close, thank you. And then there is Nirvan Chatterjee. I'm nowhere close, but thank you very, very much. And last but not least, Made in Canada. Thumbs up and thank you so very much, each and every one of you, whether I thank you or not. You are all beautiful and wonderful people. You get me out of my head, into the world, and dealing with real people, even if only in text. And when you're depressed, you need other voices in the echo chamber of your skull. Thank you so very, very much. And if you could check out, taking that position again, my various things down below. I have Twitter, Facebook, Patreon.com. If you could become a Patreon.com patron, like one of these beautiful and awesome people, that would be beautiful and awesome. And if you'd like to help me out financially without going through the patronage, I have a PayPal link down below. A PayPal link down below, and if you'd like to help me out without sending money, I have an Amazon wish list link as well. That would be very cool, with things like cat food, hamster bedding, silly things, non-silly things. Very, very cool if you could check that out. Now, do not feel obligated. I do not feel entitled, and if you cannot donate or you simply do not donate, I take all good wishes and I deposit them in the bank of my heart, where I draw interest, so thank you very much. If you could toss me a like, I appreciate all the positive validation I get from my existence. Definite thumbs up, and of course, if you could hit the notification bell on the subscription button, that would be awesome as well. Thank you very, very much. Well, good golly, Miss Molly, I have this video here. I have another video I need to edit and then render and upload for the second half of the day. Yeah, so I've got stuff to do, and I've got other things to do as well. Phone calls, at least one that I need to make, so thumbs up for that. Gotta stay busy. Gotta keep the darkness out. And of course, the lobster hat wearing duck head of judgment suffers from a surplus of scorn. Please do not disappoint the lobster hat wearing duck head of judgment. I've messed up the speech already. Oh well, it's yeah, okay. Thumbs up for that. And Black Lives Matter, at least that one I can't mess up because it's nice and to the point. And justice for everybody, the jackbooted black brown-shirted fascist thugs in police uniforms keep brutalizing, and I can't even remember how that one goes. So yeah, I'm doing well this morning. I hope you're doing well this morning as well. Thumbs up for that. So please wear a mask, Wash your hands, try not to touch your face, practice your social distancing, stay inside unless you have to go out. We are hitting the point in the United States where we're going to be pretty soon hitting 3, 4, and 5,000 dead daily. Take this seriously and don't be one of them. You take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, my friend, and that is a very good thing.